We typically think we're going to see the Googans out on the water, but sometimes we'll see the Googans as the ones who are out there trying to get the boat on the water. Welcome back, crew, to this week's episode of Googans of the Week. And speaking of Googans getting the boats out on the water, they always seem to find some unique ways to do it. It's not always the typical plan that you imagine when you're trying to launch the boat when the Googans are involved. Now, it's not uncommon for us to see the Googans out there making mistakes as they try and launch or trailer the boat, but every once in a while, on some of those special occasions, we'll see the Googans get an assist, kind of like this situation right here, where our Googan's about to take his boat down to the lake and enjoy a day out on the water with his family, but somebody in the cul-de-sac decided they were going to park their car in the middle of the cul-de-sac and leave it there, not realizing there happened to be a Googan behind the wheel of the pickup truck. The old Googan move of ripping the band-aid off. Speaking of ripping the band-aid off, sometimes that's what it'll feel like when you're trying to get your boat back off the beach after a wonderful day out there at the sandbar. Now, when you are trying to do this, there are some great methods and techniques you can use to try and get that boat off the beach, but one of them I definitely don't recommend, well, that's pushing anywhere near the propeller. Now, for some reason, there is a guy in the water hanging onto the pontoon right next to the running motor. Definitely not something we recommend here. Typically recommend that's going fishing with your Googan friends, especially when they tell you they're going to take you to their secret fishing spot, because typically that path is going to include some things you might not expect. Now, it may look like they got here the hard way, but this is no harder than the way our next Googan tries to go to the location he's trying to get to. The good news for our Googans in this situation is that they will no longer have to worry about the bridge heights as they continue on their journey. The bad news, I'm not quite sure that one's going to buff out. Speaking of buffing out, it's tough to buff it out when you send it just a little too hard like this crew. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Googans of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like OG Send It, Pete239, Picasso West, Pretty Buoy 187, and Red Dog 86 did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.